me, the self-esteem doctor, Simone Alicia, and I have another message of hope for you today. It's really important that we continuously feed on messages that can encourage us through this very difficult time that we're going through in the world. With this pandemic, so many of us are in a position now where we're questioning things. We're having to look into our own fears and spend a lot of time with ourselves as we quarantine or try our best to stay home as our situation will allow us to. The message I want to give you today is really about change. Now, we've heard so much about change throughout our lives, I'm sure. And one of the most important things that I like to bring up is that change is life and life is change. It's actually a philosophy I like to teach to all of my clients as well as my own children. It's really important for us to take note of the things that we've already accomplished, things that we are already good at, and change, believe it or not, is one of them. Many times we will repeat that same old story. Oh, I don't like change. I hate change. Change is so difficult. Why me? Why do I have to go through that? And yeah, you're right. I feel it too sometimes. But the truth is that we're always changing. The only constant in our life is change. And I know sometimes that can be a stressful notion, but if you think back far enough, you'll realize we've kind of mastered it. We've been nailing change we went from crawlers to walkers, baby teeth to big teeth. We've been changing all of our lives. And even though they're stressful changes and relatively simple changes, this change that we're going through now as a society, as a world, is quite stressful to say the least. And the truth of the matter is that if we look back and say to ourselves, well, you know what? I am someone who has gone through change. So I can get through this. These are the words of encouragement that we want you to have inside to help you through this pandemic. It's called self-talk. And the way that we talk to ourselves is so important. I can't stress it enough for you today. That is what you're going to need to get you through this entire situation. That conversation with yourself, whether you remind yourself of how horrible this is and how bored you are at home, or whether you remind yourself that this is another change, one that you can get through and that we all hope to get through together. Again, that self-talk is going to be crucial. And the perception you have of change mixed together with that self-talk can be the source of some really brilliant power. Now again, I never want to minimize anyone's situation. Some of us are dealing with really big mental health concerns. We're dealing with other issues in our lives and having to come to a place of coping right now, and that's a big deal. So I never want to minimize that. I just want to make sure that I send that note of encouragement that our self-talk is something that we can tap into, that we can tweak, we can change. And again, that notion of change is one that we can adopt a little bit more easily into our own lives and into our own hearts. So my encouragement today is this. Remind yourself that life is change and change is life. Remind yourself that you've done this before. And remind yourself that nothing is more important right now than the self-talk and encouragement you give yourself.